We're down here in the middle of the mill. This is the future Batt Line. You can see we have a bunch of bats here. These are not being made for sale. These are being made for testing. They're still trying to get the exact recipe. So these are bats that they make, and then they'll ship them off and get them tested. Things, you know, fire retardant, the R value, just getting tested to make sure, as well as trying to understand, you know, what's the right recipe for consistency. So you can see here, like, it's a challenge to deform this, and actually, you know, you could tear it apart with some aggression, but for the most part, this thing, you know, you can bend it here. It's held together quite well. So what you're looking at here is these are the bales of the bicore, or the bicomponent. This is the component that gets mixed in with the wood fiber that holds the bat together. Basically the binder. And if we take a walk over here, you'll see this is basically the hopper machine where those bales get loaded right over the top. You know, it'll get cut and open. You can see the material here. It almost looks like a cotton, but it's a fibrous material. Yeah, but I would say it's pretty close to cotton. I mean, in texture and in look. I mean, it's just a fibrous material that gets put in the hopper here, but then you can see there's a whole bunch of wheels where it's basically getting, I don't know, untangled, for lack of a better term, or getting stretched out. I'm gonna bear with me a second here and come around the other side here, because I know you can get a good picture as it's going up the elevator inside the machine after it gets kind of debaled. So you can see there it gets torn apart, and then it just has the elevator that's just grabbing the right amount and taking it up, and then it's going to go onto the other side, and this bicore will then get mixed with the wood fiber and become a multi-component solution that will then go off and eventually become the bat. So we got some anti-static mist, and this is where level control happens. So very cool. On the back side of the bico machine, you would see literally right here is where the wood fiber and the bico are getting mixed together, and they move out of the machine via that duct as a mixed recipe. So we're down here. This is actually the end of the Batt Line. So it's running, but they're not making anything right now. The bats would be coming out of there, but this is a whole series of ovens here, and this is where the bi-component product, it's the white fluffy stuff that is the binder for the bats. It basically gets cooked in here, and it gets pretty much like melted down, and for lack of a better term, it becomes the glue that holds the bats together. So, you know, they're in the process of commissioning this line here and trying to understand how much of the bico do they put in, because obviously everything costs money, and the more ingredients and the larger quantities of ingredients, the more the product is forced to cost. So they're trying to bring it in so that it can achieve all of their goals, but be brought in for a very good price point. So anyways, yeah, that's the end of the oven. So this is where, you know, the hopper, where the wood chips and the bico meet, and then they go into the system right here, and then they go down this long series of ovens there. So Really cool stuff. All right, so snuck up here to the crow's nest, and yeah, what you might think is like a big plate of dough, that's actually the timber batt. You can see how consistent the depth is. That's 5.5 inch 2x6 batt right there. And so what's the width on that? About 12 feet? 15?
I think it's about that long. It's nothing to be done.
Okay, that's very neat. So they had just fired this up, believe it or not. So this is like the very first batch of batt going through this machine. It's about to get cut up right here. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, so the yellow is the bandsaws that cut it to the right length, and then there's a cross cut just beyond it. You'll see it there in effect. It's actually on the slope, because whenever you're cutting something that's looking down a conveyor belt, you need to cut a straight line. It actually needs to be timed appropriately on the slope. But you can see just how consistent that mat is. It's yeah, pretty dang impressive. Going in is one large tab, and then if you come over here, yeah, thank you. You can see how it's sliced. Lengthwise, and then the cross cut. So that's going to go, and as it cuts it on an angle. You can see it here. And because it's cutting it on an angle, it's actually cutting it straight across. And it has it's like a second one. I don't know if that's cutting it or what that's actually doing to it. But you see this is pretty interesting. You know, the waste goes down into a recycling bin down below. And then I'm guessing as that goes down, that ramp lifts up. Oh, not that one. Just collecting it. But you can also see here, you know, with that bandsaw, you're probably losing about, I don't know, 6 or 8 inches on the edge, where it's basically getting a nice clean cut. You can see the dimensional difference from the left of the yellow dome to the right of that yellow dome. Very cool. You can see there's this was literally a test batch. We were the first ones to see this thing in operation, which is actually pretty incredible. So you can walk around the side of the column here. Yeah, so now they have it up on top. So what's the second one do? What's the second one do?
This alternate.
What?
This alternate. This one goes. This one goes.
I got you. So they're both cutting.
So it's out time to pick up and turn.
I got you. Gotcha. So both saws are doing exactly the same job. Just the second one here gives the first one a chance to return it, vice versa.
So they're pretty low right now. Once it speeds up, time to pick up.
Yeah, gotcha. Let's see here. So let's drop down. Oh, they're gonna stack them. So those are 5.5 inch. I think those get 4 or 5. So we're gonna wait for that to stack up. And then we'll see it go through the wrapper. Pretty cool stuff. 1 or 2 more batches here. You can see it, but there's a whole bunch of little red lasers there that are measuring location or precision of, you know, sizes, stacking. Yeah, this is getting it too as it goes by. So the machines are certainly doing a number of things. I think it's only take maybe one more. This plastic, actually, it'll take numerous bales, put them on a pallet, and then basically hood them with that machinery right there. And what that does is it basically palletizes these. So I'm told, you know, these can get delivered and actually be stored outside because they're basically sealed in that poly. But what's pretty cool also, go around the corner here, you can see the pallets come in on this side, those bales will come in on the other side. But check this out, where they marry up is on an elevator. So after the pallet gets wrapped, it gets brought onto this elevator, set on the pallets, and then it's dropped down a whole story and then put on a conveyor belt and sent out to the loading dock. Now the thing that's really cool there is that even though they're on a pallet here, no fork truck is touching it until it gets all the way out to the loading dock, fully packaged as these tall units for shipping, basically ready for the truck. So again, you know, process engineering. I love going to these plants to see this stuff. It's just very, very cool. So I am down at the bottom of what I call the elevator, but I've just been corrected. It's called a lowerator because it doesn't ever go up. It just brings material down. But that right there is that hole that's at the bottom, or at the end of the Batt Line, I should say. And then it brings the material down, fully palletized down to here, and you can see there's rack here, and then this is basically taking it out into what will become the warehouse. Now, there's still some stuff in there. Remember, this is, you know, the Batt Line is, they're probably still a couple months away from actually making it and delivering it. But see here, there's the orange is the bottom of the lowerator. So that's the end of the timber Batt Line, and then it drops down.